Nursing school is already hard enough, and I made some mistakes that, I feel like made it harder. If you're in nursing school or thinking about it, this video could save you some time, some money, and a lot of stress, because I did the stressing for y'all. So now I'm trying to show y'all what not to do so y'all don't have to stress going through it. Y'all, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, my name is D'Amber. I'm 28 years old and I am a registered nurse who is currently traveling for my career. I'm also in school to become a nurse practitioner, and today I'm sharing the biggest nursing school mistakes that I personally made, so hopefully you don't have to learn the hard way like I did. Alright y'all, so today I am going to use my phone because I have my notes on this and I really want to make sure I hit everything. So let's start off with mistake number one, was about the prereqs. So with prereqs, you are going to do your anatomy, your physiology, sociology, those type of courses, microbiology. But in those courses, it's more so understanding and like memorizing. It's not like truly understanding to understand the information. You just want to memorize it, get your grade, and go on. When it comes to nursing school, you have to understand this information. And the quicker you can understand this information, the easier it will be for your nursing school journey. Because I will tell you, every class that you start off with will literally build onto each other. So fundamentals will build onto your next adult class, that will potentially build onto, your next adult class, and then your senior adult classes. Everything does build onto each other. So learning this information, understanding how to critically think will be very beneficial, and it will literally make life less stressful while going through the nursing program. So that's tip number one. Tip number two is, personally, I gained experience. So if you are a CNA and you are about to go to nursing school, you see a lot of things in the real world. And I will tell you, when I first started nursing school, while being a CNA, it was really hard for me to understand like how to answer those questions because I knew how to do it in the real world. And I'll give you an example real quick. I had a question about how to roll a patient, and I'm like, oh, well, this is how I do it in the real world. So I answered that question based off how I would do it. And I remember my professor coming to me and she asked me, she said, are you a CNA? I said, yeah. She said, I can tell by the way that you answered these questions on the exam. You need to turn that off and learn how to critically think and answer the questions based off of the information that is in this textbook, and you would be so much more successful. And when I literally listened to her, I literally passed fundamentals with flying colors because I learned how to study based off of the textbook that I was reading instead of what I personally knew in the real world. So then we have number three, which is trying to do everything by yourself. I am one of those people that like to study by myself. I like to just, figure it out all on my own. But once I learned that I was more successful when I went to tutoring, when I went to my teacher's office hours, and when I found a group of girls that I truly, could study with and we understood the information together, it made nursing school literally that much easier. So I'll give you how I study. It may help you, it may not, but we had study guides, and I would print off the study guides, fill in the information that I thought was most important from that book, and then I would make it on a Word document, highlight the most important stuff, and I would just go through my notes all day, every day on my iPad. Wherever I was at, the iPad was literally with me. And then I also use supplemental information such as Nurse Sarah off of YouTube. Everybody loves her. Nurse Mike was very helpful. And then I also used this thing called Ambio Sisters, and they were very helpful for me when it came to pathophysiology and kind of learning how the body worked, because their videos are really cute, but it was very informational at the same time. Those were my three things. And then we had our textbooks that I used, and then I also used this ATI book. Some schools use ATI, some schools use HESI, but I feel like if you can get your hands on the thin ATI books, they're very compact with a lot of information, and it's very, very helpful. I'll see if I can find a link to add to this video. So those are, the things that I did that personally made me more successful within nursing school. Now, number four, I know it's really hard. It's not really talked about prior to going to nursing school, but it can get really easy. Like, it can happen easily. And that is, don't compare yourself to others. There were Times that I compared myself throughout my nursing school journey, because I had classmates who would literally walk in the exam and be done in 15 minutes. And I'm like, how did you read 50 questions in 15 minutes? And they would always get good grades. I'm a slow reader, I'm a slow processor, so I used to compare myself, but I still passed all my courses. I failed one course by one question. But after that, in my previous video, like we talked about, it kind of gave me the fire that I needed. So not comparing yourself will, you know, literally take you a long way, because you will have people who come off smarter than you. You will have people who, you know, will make you feel stupid, even though you know, you're just learning. We're all literally learning the same information so we can go be successful in the real world. And I will tell you, just because you're book smart does not correlate to you being a good nurse. Like, I went to school with some people who you would be like, they had no book smarts, but they're probably some of the best nurses out there. And then I went to school with people who knew everything by the book, and you're like, okay, you are not a good nurse in other people's opinions. So don't compare your journey in nursing school to other people's. You will get good grades, you will get bad grades, but as long as you finish the program and keep going, you'll be a-okay. I think we're on tip number 5. Is you gotta manage your time realistically. Like we've talked about in previous videos before too, nursing school takes a lot of time, and I personally underestimated how much time it would take. I didn't realize that I would be sitting at desk literally from the time that I woke up to the time that I went to sleep. There was days where I wasn't probably eating as much. I wouldn't leave the house. I wasn't doing the things that I normally would do. But it does take a lot of time. Clinical days do add up. Nursing school is a real commitment, and it just takes a lot of time. So once you like learn how to plan, like, I'm going to study for this amount of time, I'm going to cover these chapters, I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to have me some self-care time. Don't over stress yourself, overwork yourself, and neglect yourself throughout nursing school. It is literally the easiest thing that you will do, but just try super hard not to. Like, it's going to come to an end. When you get to your exams, you're going to get to a point where you're like, either I know this information or I don't. And if you learn how to critically think, you may even be able to guess yourself to the correct answers. Like, you're not going to walk into every exam confident and knowing every last question, every last answer. So don't burn yourself out if you don't know it. It's okay. All right, so the next thing is not forgetting your why. There were moments that when I was in nursing school, I would ask myself why. And I feel like a lot of us go through this. Why am I doing this? Why am I putting myself through this stress? And then when you're able to reconnect with your why, I feel like it brings back more motivation. Like, I'm doing this for myself. I'm doing this for, the patients. I'm doing this for my family. Whatever your why is, just don't forget it and try to reconnect with it whenever you get in those moments of, this isn't worth it, I don't like this. Because I will tell you, it is very worth it at the end. It's very rewarding, and it's probably one of the best decisions that I personally made in my life. And then last but not least, if you are in nursing school right now, and if you are struggling, let me tell you this, you are not alone. Most nurses struggled through their program. Most nurses struggled when it was time to take their boards. Struggling does not mean you're failing. And even if you fail a course, just do it over. Learn from your mistakes and literally keep pushing. That's all it is to it. Because even in the real world, when it's time to be a nurse, I can't tell you how many mistakes that myself and my coworkers have made, but we literally learn from them and we keep pushing and we learn not to make those same mistakes again. You got to understand that nursing school is tough because it is very serious work, but you can definitely get through it. Look at all the nurses that are out there. You guys will be fine, you guys will be good, and you guys will definitely get through the program. So if this video helped you, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, and make sure you share it. And comment what's the hardest part of your nursing journey right now. Whether it's school, whether it's clinicals, whether it's learning how to study, whether it's, just staying grounded and staying disciplined. But with that being said, I will see you guys next Sunday on the next video. And in the meantime, you guys have a great new year. Thank you guys for watching. Bye.